Jake,
Yep.
tell me about this next one.
Yeah, so the long awaited sophomore album from Rivals, Sad Looks Pretty on Me. I have been waiting for this album for so goddamn long, and I am so goddamn happy that I have it now. Okay, let's start with my reaction on first listen, because I was underwhelmed on first listen, to say the least.
Interesting.
And considering the high expectations I had, I was skeptical on if this was maybe even top 10. And then the rest of the month went by, and every single song on this album has just gotten better and better with time. Even the ones that I'm not as high on, like Little Mistakes and Change Things. This album is incredible all the way around, and I think this is going to come off as a strange comparison, a really fucking strange comparison. But at this point, I'm comparing this to Polaris, in the sense that Polaris came out with their album last year with the singles of Hypermania and Landmine, two of my most played singles of 2019.
Don't
Rivals
forget
have
Masochist.
effectively... Masochist I didn't listen to that much, but same, a little under. Rivals have come out and done the same thing with Fake Rich and Sad Looks Pretty on Me, two songs that I have listened to death at this point and still love them. And then the rest of the album, not as much. But I think I am significantly higher on the rest of this album than I was with the rest of Polaris, and that has only changed with time. This band is incredible, and I think the thing that makes this album stand out to me the most, just comes out of left field, is the fact that the bridges of most of these songs are somehow the most memorable points of the song. Like, when you think of a song, the most memorable parts are usually either a sick breakdown or a chorus, or maybe a verse in like the rare case of like a talk to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Rivals has a way of making the bridges of the song the most interesting and memorable parts of songs. Like, you think about the bridge in Alkaline, which has the sick drum beat behind it. You think about the bridge, aka breakdown of Fake Rich, which is madness. The best part of Strawberries is the bridge in that song as well. And then we get to the fucking heartbreaker that is Too Dumb. I have never seen a band nail the bridge into a final chorus as much as Rivals has done with this album. And in reference to Dom, I don't know if there's any band out there that is able to close an album like Rivals is. Following up to Layla from Damn Soul with To Dom is... I would not... Like, if they are able to keep that trend up with every album in the future, I'm going to eat that shit up. For as much as those two songs have made me cry over the years, I need more of it, because the emotional outcry of both of those songs through Kaylee's voice is just unbelievable.
Mm.
And I know I'm like specifically highlighting To Dom here, but the
I
triple
want to highlight
threat,
it as well.
yeah, I'll let you get into more detail on that one. But the triple threat of Are You Listening, To Dom, and Why to close out this album, when most of this album, there's like a bunch of singles, and then the middle of the album is filled with Dead Flowers, Little Mistakes, Change Things, On the Loose. 4 songs that I really wasn't that high on first listen. To bookend this album with Are You Listening into To Dom, into the closing track Why, is probably one of the best 3 songs to close an album I have heard in a long fucking time. Are You Listening being my favorite of the non-singles by far. That song has not gotten out of my head. I have some lyrics here from that song, which I think lead into To Dom perfectly, which I didn't catch on first listen. But part of the lyrics of the first verse of Are You Listening is, I can't blame her for what she did. I just needed someone there to listen. I was 15 thinking that I shouldn't exist. Head deep down to the bottom of a bottle while skiing down a mountain, not praying for tomorrow. And then if you take that verse and with the context of what To Dom is about, like, no band closes out an album like Rivals does. That's the point I'm trying to make here. The closing, not only to this album, I know we're focusing on Sad Looks Pretty on Me, but even in Damned Souls, the way that they close out that album and the way they close out this album, no band does it like Rivals, in my opinion. And with all that being said, Jacob, I will hand it over to you to talk about 2DOM before I talk about a few other things.
So, you're gonna have to correct me because I don't know the full story here, but I believe 2DOM is about, what's her name, Kaylee's nephew, right?
Yep.
And it's about this nephew's mom committed suicide, and in the bridge of the song, she reads out the mom's suicide note.
Yep.
And I was driving home, and I literally was crying on the way home. I was like, holy shit, I did not expect this. Like, blast of emotion.
Yeah. Kaylee's voice is unbelievable. The amount of emotion she is able to convey with her voice throughout the entire album is, like, almost unlike any other female voice that I've ever heard. Like, definitely one of my favorite female vocalists that I've ever heard, like, out of any of the bands that I listen to. I think I'm at a point where I wasn't convinced on first listen, but after some more time, I'm convinced Rivals are one of my top 10 favorite bands. And this album just sealed the deal for me on that one.
Yeah, her to me her delivery is like that, cause there was an inflection on one word that she said where it reminded me instinctively of somebody else. And the best like comparison I could think of is that she feels like a combination of Lynn Gunn from Paris and Sia, like the one who sings Chandelier. Like, there was some aspect of the way that those two sing, and I mean, like, there's plenty of other, like, oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not distinctions, subtleties, maybe, to Kaylee's voice that makes her, like, all her own sing. But it's, like, the best parts of those other two artists put together into this one really nice pack. I agree with you. I love her voice. And she sounds great live, too.
I want to see them live so badly. I'm still good. A little upset that they didn't make it to the New England section of the Swaves tour, because Rivals and Swaves did a tour in 2019, but Rivals didn't come to Hartford, which is where I saw them live, and I'm still just a little upset about that. But I'll get to see them live eventually if this COVID shit ever ends. But who knows?
Yeah,
let's move to New Zealand, guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
If only it was that easy.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of seeing her live with Brent Walsh of I the Mighty, Landon Tours of The Plot and You, and Tillian. That was a beautiful tour. I was very happy with that. No, this album was really good. I think I agree with you. I liked it more than I expected to based on the singles.
Me too.
I think that the non-singles are the strongest ones on it. Personally, I think that the four song run of Change Things through 2DOM is really, really good. Change Things being my favorite song in this album, and it's not even close.
I remember you saying that you weren't sure on that feature the first time we listened.
I wasn't, and then I listened again, and I was. And then I listened again, and I was more sure.
It's a great feature. Like, I had never heard of Dutch Melrose before, but great feature.
No, yeah, they're two different features. This and the Elijah Witt feature are two that you would like absolutely not expect on this album, but they both work really, really well. Yeah, this. The first half is pretty distinct from the second half, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or at least Lavenders through Strawberries is different. Sad Looks Pretty, I mean, kind of established tone. Kind of more lighthearted, pop-esque, kind of hinting at things. And the second half is just, like, bombarding you. Like, what's that lyric from Are You Listening? Hold on. I have to find it. Are You Listening? Rivals.
Oh, lyrics. I looked up. I couldn't find the lyrics anywhere.
I can't blame her for what she did. I just needed someone there to listen.
Yeah, that's
I was
exactly
15 thinking that I shouldn't exist. Head deep to the bottom of a bottle. Like, that is different than Strawberries and Lavender. Right? Like, that's... It hit harder than I was anticipating it to in that second half. But I think that the album as a whole, despite there being that not necessarily distinct but noticeable difference, I think overall just the sound and tone work really well as a whole. I'm happier with this album than I intended it to. This, to me, how we were talking about potential, like top 10 candidates earlier on that have yet to release. This for me is one of those where it has potential top 10 come the end of the year when I review everything. Because like we have 9 months left, obviously, but right now this is sitting pretty in my top 10. So
this is certainly sitting pretty in my top 5 right now, and it's
yeah, absolutely.
not particularly
Understandably
close. I think the last point that I want to make that I have not really made yet is the fact that the more I've listened to Sad Looks Pretty on Me, which is the opening track and the title track of this album, I said it in our group chat, but the more I've convinced myself that this song has Talk to a Friend energy.
Okay.
Where it has the same energy as Talk to a Friend by Slaves. Where it's like, I wouldn't talk to a friend the way I talk to myself. I sure know how to make sad look pretty on me. Or make sad look good on me or whatever. That it kind of has the same energy to me. And ever since I made that connection, I have nearly convinced myself that it's my favorite song I've heard all year. And like, I don't know if it's going to be. It probably won't be. But like, it is so hard for me to try and figure out whether I like Sad Looks Pretty on Me or Fake Rich more. Because both songs are so good for separate reasons. Because like Fake Rich is like, it has that blend of like the hip hop elements in the verses with the heavy chorus and the sick as fuck breakdown. And then Sad Looks Pretty on Me is just the catchiest song I've heard all year, like probably bar none. And just overall, I am in love with this album. I was skeptical on first listen. The more I have listened to it, the more positive I am that this is going to be one of my favorite albums all year.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of catchy, there was a great pop sensibility, I guess, throughout a lot of this album. I think the catchiest part to me is that electronic, I guess, maybe beat in the background of On the Loose. That to me is the thing that sticks with me the most out of everything on this album, in terms of like repetitive, or
it's definitely the most experimental on the album.
Yeah, it's like a Silk and Satin from Stand Atlantic last year. Almost actually, not necessarily like word for word, but concept for concept. You know, having that constant experimental beat in the background and doing. Yeah, actually, that is. It is the Silk and Satin of this album, and I love it. But yeah, no, definitely.
With all that being said, I think we have spent more than enough time discussing this album and singing its praises.